Hello, welcome. This is your daily tarot card reading and it is for day after Boxing Day. I was just saying to somebody, I'm so sorry, I don't put any information up about when I'm posting videos or anything like that, or when I'm off. I just kind of just disappear, so apologies for that, because I know sometimes you might be thinking, oh, where's Kerry and what's she doing, like when's she coming back? So yeah, sorry about that, but I think it's just the way I am, really. So anyway, perhaps I'll get better at that. We'll see. So I'm sending you lots of love wherever you are on Gaia at this time, and you know, it can be quite triggering at this time of year with the mental patterns, because there's a lot of there's a lot of patterns around this time of year, all socially constructed, of course. It's all conditioned. It's insane, really. But yes, never mind. We get through it one way or another, don't we? So it's a good opportunity, actually. This time of year is a very good opportunity to burn pain body and to choose to purposefully ignore the ego mind. Because obviously the more we ignore the ego mind, the less power it has. It starts to get a lot weaker. And ultimately we want the ego mind to get weaker, because it's the ego mind that gets us to over-identify with everything in the matrix. So we become too overly attached to people, we get too overly attached to situations, we get too over-emotional about things, and it's all because of the ego, because we over-identify with everything that we see in the physical reality. And we're looking the wrong way. We should always be training ourselves, conditioning ourselves to look inwards, to source, and just attend to the self, because God, spirit, is the doer. And then we can just accept. It does take surrender, and it does take deep acceptance to just surrender and just accept that what's going on in my life right now may not be what I want, but it's what spirit feels I need, and spirit knows best, you know. Now the ego mind will pop up with all sorts of ridiculous ideas, you know, and it just kills you, doesn't it? I get it all the time. I've had a real ego identity, and it's been very hard to get rid of, and it's not completely gone yet either. But the mind patterns can be very dominant, and it's very annoying, because you just want to be at peace. You just want to be at peace, and that's why we got to ignore the ego mind. And keep drawing our attention inwards and just do our daily activities. And the more we just keep doing that every day, keep coming into the present moment every day, eventually the ego mind will give up the momentum. Eventually the pain body will subside, and everything starts to become more settled and less painful. You can read Tactile Power of Now, New Earth. You can watch Muji as well on YouTube, read his books. Papaji, Ramana, Maharishi. These are all people that talk about the consciousness path. It's not for everybody, but I'm just sharing it with you because it is this time of year that can be particularly triggering. And, you know, you will hear people say that they need the ego, but I really beg to differ, because the ego just sends you around on a wild goose chase. It confuses you because it gets you to create an identity that's not really you. And it will always do that because it's fragmented and it's in separation. So it doesn't have the eternal peace and love of consciousness within it. The only place you can get the eternal peace and love is within the consciousness, within here. You know, not up here. So that's the reason why. So I just wanted to clarify that, because I do keep hearing that a lot of people. And, you know, people are still very welcome to pick their own path, and people will do that. But I just wanted to clear it up for anyone that's not sure. Because sometimes people just say things like, oh, the ego just needs to be reconditioned, or the ego is just your personality and you just have to work with it. But no, it will just drive you insane if you try to work with the ego, because the ego is nothing more than a collection of thoughts. And those collections of thoughts will constantly change. But anyway, I won't go on anymore, because otherwise I'm going into a whole nother video. It's more for people that were interested. But anyway, let's just say we're clear. We're resetting ourselves, you know, and we've done purging. We've gone through what we've gone through the last few days. Here we are. Now, we've got here the Five of Wands, right? Now, this is in the challenge position. So there's some kind of conflict going on. I would say it's an internal conflict, and it could even be a conflict between two people. Could be to do with you and your person, whoever that may be. I'm going to do this as a relationship reading because I've done soulmate and I've also done, what did I do? Oh yeah, twin flame. I did soulmate and twin flame. So this is going to be a relationship reading, and then just take it however it resonates. Or it may not resonate, just see how you feel. Now, Spirit is showing that you are releasing the challenges, okay? You are releasing the challenges here. And you can face whatever you need to face. Now, the timing is not quite right for this relationship or communication. There's something here to do with the timing not being quite right or communication being challenging. We've got here the Devil card. Somebody's ego is coming up here. It's addictive. There's mind patterns coming in here. There's temptation. We've got here the Ace of Wands, which is also very tempting because look at that. I mean, it's on fire, isn't it? This could be very sexual, or it could just be the temptation of the ego flaring up. It could feel like something's very exciting for somebody. And then we've got here the Six of Swords reversed, which shows that there could be an ex lurking around, or there could be a situation in your life that seems to be repeating itself. And it's like, why is this person coming back in with the same energy again? Now, this could be any type of relationship, remember? Okay, so basically what we've got over here, you're getting healthier and healthier all the time, okay? You are. So be proud. Look, you know, challenge is dropping away because you're choosing more conscious choices and you're not allowing yourself to get locked into addictive patterns anymore. It means that Spirit is sort of rewarding you and saying, look, you know, we're going to give you more healthy opportunities. But I do feel you're still a little bit torn in a way. You're still a little bit torn about what do I do. There's still a bit of ego mind activity going on, but you're definitely in a more healthy place than you were. You are choosing more conscious choices. You're choosing to live more consciously, and then you will notice the vibrational alignment of your life starts to improve because of that. Because grace can work through you when you're choosing to live in a more conscious way. Okay. Now, we've got here the Page of Swords. Like I said, the timing may not be quite right for communication or action, and it goes into the Tower card. So there's definitely something here that looks very challenging, and I would steer clear. We've got here, like I said, the Devil card. So somebody's going back into ego. Somebody's very tempted. They're still playing an ego identity, and they're also quite depressed. The Sun card reversed. Okay, Sun reversed. There's an opportunity here, a brand new chapter for this person, but they really hold on to egoic patterns. So they don't really embrace the new chapter, and they're quite depressed, I feel. Now, like I said, there's temptations here with this card. There's a real tempting energy to grab something in the external reality. I would say you've got to you've got to test this thing out, whatever it is, and you've got to sort of reject it. You've got to kind of reject it or pull back from it and say, do you know what? Actually, maybe you're not part of my path. Maybe whether it's a person or an opportunity, you know, maybe this isn't part of my path. Let me reject it, because I'm not just going to get pulled into something here in the reality that could be potentially a minefield. Okay? Because if it's related to this Devil card, it could be ego. This could be an opportunity that's being presented to you as a form of ego, as a form of temptation to see, will you drop into ego and accept this opportunity that could end up really taking you back into addiction. You've got here the Strength card reversed. I do think this opportunity could be quite dodgy. So be very careful what you choose to do here. Be very careful. And I would say, like I said, reject this opportunity. Don't be tempted to do something that seems wildly exciting or risky. Okay, so if there's something in your life at the moment that seems very risky or wildly exciting, like it gives you a buzz, which is usually because it's risky, Spirit is saying be careful, because there's something here that is egoic going on. You're being presented with something that's from ego, and you've got to be very, I'm not saying you can't deal with it or have this opportunity or this person, but what I'm saying is be very vigilant to how you go about accepting this. If you are going to accept it, be vigilant about how you do it. Also, be really aware of the energy you're in, because we always have to work with energy. If we're going to go into something, we need to go into it with a conscious energy. We need to go into it with our energy aligned, okay? We must not go into things with fear-based energy or addiction-based energy, because whatever energy we have within ourselves is ultimately the energy that we are going to create in our reality, okay? And even Einstein said that whatever energy you embody, you cannot help but end up with that reality. So really check your energy before you proceed with something, okay? Because there's definitely something here in the cards that's being shown that could be quite egoic, addictive, or just going down an old pattern. Do you really want to repeat it? If it's a new opportunity, have a think. Is it risky? Am I doing it out of fear, or am I doing it out of love? You know, and make sure energy's aligned properly before you do it. I'm not saying you can't do it, but like I said, make sure your energy, you're doing it in the right way. Okay, now you have got here, like I said, an ex could be lurking around, or somebody could be coming back in, or a pattern could be repeating itself. Now, you are much more wise than you used to be. You've got the Hermit card reversed. You're a lot more wise. So you're going to deal with this situation a lot better than you would have done in the past. Let's have a look. Now, yeah, you are, because, you know, like I said, the first card to come out was the fact that you are dealing with your challenges a lot better. And to be honest with you, because you're choosing to live more consciously, a lot of the challenges you were facing previously are beginning to drop away, because that is how spirit works. Okay, that's how spirit works. And as you, like I said, you may feel a bit conflicted at the moment about what you're doing, but ultimately you're making the right conscious decision. And you are becoming very much a valuable person. Well, you are anyway, because obviously we're all spirit. But what I'm saying is you're starting to embody your worth. You're feeling much more rooted, much more solid. You know that you hold this golden coin in your hands, and that you don't need to give yourself away to anything. You don't need to compromise anything. You can just be very solid within the self and stand in your truth. Now, this situation with this person that I said the timing's not right, be careful of communication, there could be something challenging going on, and then we've got the Tower card. You know, it's something here is looking quite dodgy, okay? And then you've got the Seven of Pentacles reversed. You know, it's like delays are over. Delays are going to be over. Something is definitely turning. Something is definitely changing. It's just definitely changing. It's going to change quicker than you realise. Now, the person who I said is very egoic, they fall back into this ego identity. I think they do suffer a lot. Anyone that's got a strong ego identity, and you know what I mean by that, they play a role, and you know it's not the real person. Anyone like that is suffering with depression, because the reason why we create these ego identifications is to survive trauma and pain. So this person's got a lot of pain body, you already know that. They're not very happy, and they've even got the Ace of Cups reversed. They're going to be going through a very big purge right around now. I would say this person's been heavily purging over Christmas, okay? Or Yule, or whatever you call it, winter periods. Now, I think you're having an awakening and you're realising, I don't want to just go forward blindly into anything where I'm taking risks or compromising my energy. I don't want to move forward in fear or ego. I don't want to be tempted into risky situations or, you know, what I'm trying to say. You really are having an awakening, Six of Pentacles, to your worth, your value. You're being very careful about your abundance, and you're making sure that, you know, whatever you decide to do, is it wise? Is it conscious? That's what you're being very careful about now. Much more methodical. The energy on this channel, our collective energy, is becoming more rooted, more grounded, more solid. We're becoming more in our worth, in our power, more wise, more tempered, more slow, gradual, careful, but not from a fear-based way, just more wise, that there's not this impulsive, addictive quality anymore. You know, so our energy's shifting collectively, and it means that you're going to be receiving more abundance. You're going to meet people that want to give to you, but you're also going to be, and that could be emotionally as well as, you know, or it could be, you know, monetary, but it could be emotionally as well. So you're going to be receiving on different levels, because you don't want to keep going down the old pathways. And it's very much more wise energy, how you're doing things. Like I said, you're not rushing things and doing things impulsively. And you may be deciding to pull your energy away. You may decide to pull your energy and your attention away from an ex or somebody who is sort of coming back in. Like I said, it could be an opportunity coming back in, or it could be a person coming back in. And I think you could be choosing very wisely to just pull your energy back, because you don't want to repeat the past. So this person's probably going to be like, oh my God, what's going on? They're not hounding me with messages anymore, or they're not being reactive to me. They're being very silent, like they're being very calm. What's going on? Yeah, they could be really feeling like that. But that's none of your concern. Try to cut off any thoughts about this person or situation dead at the root. Just don't abide it, because it's just ego activity. You don't need to feed it. The most important thing is to put your energy in here. Keep burning off your pain body. Keep ignoring the ego identity. Keep living in the present moment. Keep doing all of your daily activities. Keep finding the joy in your life in every moment, you know, and work towards getting back to being the true spirit, this beautiful clear quartz crystal that you know is within the center of you. This is who you really are. And you can only get back to that by connecting with yourself and focusing on self. You won't find that by searching out there for a relationship or different situations and people. It will just confuse you. So now I feel there's somebody that just can't match your energy at the moment, and they're unstable. Where you're finding your stability, they're still very unstable. So there's a mismatch going on. You may not resonate. You may not be able to connect right now because of that reason. I know you may not want to hear that. But you're the stronger one and they're actually struggling. So if they try to give you an impression that they've got it all together, that's just their ego identity. This person is struggling and they're suffering way more than you are. Now the delays are over. Someone's going to break their back. Things are going to come out. I think somebody is just not dealing with life as well as they thought they were, or a situation in this relationship that you've got is just going to crack. I mean, this is something cracking big time. So it's either this person's cracking, or your connection with them is cracking, or an opportunity, something that was, you just know needs to be, I don't know, it's just something's cracking is what I'm going to say. It is a relationship reason, so I do sort of feel it's a relationship that's cracking, but you know, take it how it resonates. Something's on the verge of cracking. Now, this person, quite interesting actually, They've been purging a lot because they've got a lot of ego, remember. I said to you, this person's probably got depression. They've got a lot of pain. They enter into addictive patterns. They probably have quite a dominant egoic personality, because ego does tend to have quite a dominant personality. And this person's been purging a lot over Christmas. They may decide here, with this Chariot card, it looks like they're going to decide, pick themselves back up and try and move forward in a more positive way. Now, isn't that amazing? That is such an about turn I didn't expect to see. But I hope it's the case, because they are struggling. You know, they've been a lot more unstable than you. They're suffering a lot more than you. They're about to crack. And then boom, it's like they just wake up and they realise, after all this purging they've been doing the last few days, Jesus, I can't go on like this. I need to get my shit together and I need to start moving forward in a more positive direction. Now, you're having definitely an awakening. I think you are massively realising that your energy has got to be paramount. Paramount. You can't allow other people's pain body to distract you, because ultimately you're not here to heal other people's pain. You're here for your incarnation to make sure you don't reincarnate again. You're here to clear out all your karmic patterns, all your pain body, to emanate out the beautiful love and grace that you really are, you know, and that's to find your inner peace. And that's what your awakening, I think, is happening. And you're realising that as much as you do have a connection with this person, you actually are starting to find more worth and value from connecting in with your own energy. Now, interestingly, as you pull back, I think this person's going to come forward. Page of Cups. I think they're going to come forward to you. I think they're going to communicate with you. I think they're going to want some kind of connection. Okay. And it could be a family member, a friend, you know who I'm talking about, an ex or somebody you've been involved with, or a friend. I think they're going to basically say they do want to, they care about you. And they want to work with you in a peaceful and kind, loving way. I think they realise that they've screwed up. Oh, God. Oh, God. Twin flame card. Whoa. You know, this is, whatever situation this is, it's just a really intense connection. This is not a twin flame reading, but the twin flame card for me is just another symbolism of very intense connection. And it's like very hard for you to both be on the same page at the same time. You sort of do this jarring thing. But you're both on path, because I just got the 111 message as I was saying it all. So I think, divinely speaking, they are where they need to be. Divinely speaking, you are where you need to be. You're sort of like discarding a lot of the ego and the pain body. You're coming back to your true self. You're realizing you don't want to repeat patterns of the past with this person. They are a little bit still confused, I would say. They've still got a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, probably addiction or things that they get caught up in. But there's definitely something here to do with them cracking. I think the purging over Christmas has probably been very good for them. I think they really needed to do this. It's waking them up, and I think they're going to step forward, because there's something to do with your bonds that can't really break. But it doesn't necessarily mean you've got to be in a relationship with this person. I just want to add that, because I don't want to encourage relationships as such, because, you know, what we're not really here to have relationships. What we're here to do is our own healing journey. And sometimes that does mean we have connections with people of all types that help us to awaken, that help to trigger us, to help us purge, and we learn a lot from each other, don't we? But it doesn't necessarily mean we have to be in relationships, because we always have to be careful we're not going back into attachment. Primarily, your attachment needs to be in here to spirit, to your heart chakra, you know, because there's a lot of ego out there and people will use you to their own advantage. And I'm sorry, but that is the case. You know, that is the case. So that's why you've got to be very vigilant. And it would just, the other thing is, if you focus a lot on relationships, what happens is you take yourself further and further away from spirit. because you end up, relationships give rise to the ego, relationships of any kind, and it takes you back into the ego, which takes you back into samsara. So you can have connections and you can have relationships, but it's here to help you become more conscious. And you need to always keep being vigilant that you're turning your attention to spirit, you know, to the self, so that you always cultivating your love from within, you see. And it's a much more peaceful energy. And your spirit guides are helping you with wounds. And I think they're helping, I think that's a card for both of you, because this person is definitely, and this is where your focus for both of you needs to be, you know, for us, but also our person. You know, that's what this is about right now. That's what the spirit guides are saying. Our spirit guides are saying, look, right now it's not about love or having a perfect relationship with somebody, whether they're family, friend, lover. This is now, at the moment, about us all healing our wounds. And that's a really beautiful thing, isn't it? You know, and we can be compassionate about it with each other. So that's the message. There we go. I should do a beginning of the year one, like an annual reading. So I'm going to maybe try and do that one day this week. That'd be a good idea. Anyway, lots of love and peace. If you do want to book in, I put all the details below. You can contact me any way that you like. And I'm sending you lots of love and peace across Gaia, wherever you are. For kind of like, well, I don't really know where we are. We're at the beginning of the week, aren't we? I don't know where we are. Oh dear. Yeah, for the beginning of the week. Lots of love and peace.